figuring that shit out. So
Yeah. Right on.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is good. This is good.
Everything is good.
Welcome. You're listening to the Infinite Scale Podcast Network once again. A month later, I think. I think it's been almost exactly a month, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Maybe 3 weeks.
maybe 3 weeks. Okay, cool, great, good. It's June 5th. I don't know about you, Chris Crossley,
Mm.
but I, William Chandler, have some. I have a couple games. I have a couple games to talk about. I haven't been playing that much actually. I've been kind of busy, but
Yeah, I have been playing games, but I feel like I haven't been playing many like different games. Maybe I have. I'll have to think on what I've been doing, but I've been playing a fuck ton of Returnal.
okay, all right, that's great because I have played no more of it. So this will be an engaging conversation.
Hell yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened with me. I like completely fell off of that game. Tell me, what do you think of Returnal now?
I still really like it. I don't remember where I had made it the last time we talked. I feel like I hadn't even beaten the first boss yet. Now I'm in the third area, so I'm
Great.
making progress. Yeah.
Okay, all right. What do you think of
Um,
Oh, let's so tell me what are your impressions so far on the first and the second boss? Like what do you
I like it. The first boss I feel like is very first bossy. It's like definitely challenging the first time, and then I feel like it's kind of I don't know. It's not that bad. I feel like it's a good first boss. Like it's challenging, but it's not too challenging. And then that second boss is kind of the same, but it was like the challenge for me is getting to the boss with enough health to not like die, I guess. Like cuz I make mistakes. I'm a guy that makes mistakes. I'm not going to get to the boss with like less than half health and make it. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I need like the full health bar with maybe like literally I beat the second boss at full health with almost a second health bar worth of max health increases, and I had 3 heals in my consumables like ready to go.
Nice.
Like
Okay.
I still barely beat it. Like I make a lot a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Um but I'm getting really good at the game, and I like every time I like get back in, I don't know, I literally love this game so much. And I constantly bounce between like the highest of video game highs when I'm playing it and I'm just like shooting and dodging and it all feels so good. And then like 1 second later it all falls apart and it's the end of a run.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Ah, I hate you." And then I just get over it and play it again. But I like it a lot. I agree with you though, in the third area is maybe the most disappointing design wise so far. It's kind
Mm,
of like you said, I think similar to the first. Yeah, but
yeah.
I know there's 6 areas now, not just
Mm.
4. So that
I had
has
not heard that. How did you somebody say that?
yeah, basically just people are talking about it
Okay.
more.
Cool.
Yeah, but there's 6 areas, so that's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to see it all. I don't know if I will now that games are about to start coming out
Yeah.
that really really interest me. I don't know if I'll ever finish Returnal sadly, but I'm glad I at least made
Yeah.
it past where I was.
You might make me I hearing you talk about it makes me want to jump back in and see what the deal is. I mean, I do like that game. I think the thing that keeps me away from it is just the feeling like I need to sit down and really commit like a few hours to this.
Yep.
It really talks me out of it, especially for somebody lately who I'm playing like games in like 1 hour chunks,
Yeah.
basically. So it's kind of rough for that, but yeah, I pretty much agree with what you've said. What's funny about that game to me is that like I yeah, I find that the boss, well, discounting the third area, which I think is probably the hardest. I mean, of course it is. It's a linear progression of difficulty, I guess, is the idea. But The third area definitely seems the hardest in terms of enemy types and like
Yep.
just taking random fucking damage. But like
Yep.
I I felt like the bosses were definitely the hardest part of that game for sure. Like
Yeah.
just immediately once you get over the hurdle of just the game kind of feeling weird, like the bosses really like they'll you're gonna take some damage. I mean, it's pretty much. I'd love to see somebody flawless that game because it would definitely be a sight like that. That seems
Yeah.
yeah. So I think yeah, I want to give it a shot. Maybe I have some time later today and tomorrow. Maybe I'll jump in and just commit 3 hours to it. But I don't know. Um do you what you mentioned some other games are coming out that you're looking forward to. What is that for you?
Oh, it's 100% Ratchet and Clank, and then I'm gonna
Okay.
replay Final Fantasy VII Remake and do the PS5 DLC
That's
for
right. That's
that.
soon, isn't it, actually?
Yeah, they're
Jesus.
both in a week. Yeah,
Wow.
this
Yeah,
weekend coming up.
I need to. I guess I'll have to start over in Final Fantasy VII Remake. I never beat it to begin with, so I'll do that. I've been playing. Oh, last time we talked, actually, I think I mentioned I was gonna start Ratchet 2016
Oh
with this
yeah,
with the 60 FPS thing. I did
yeah.
do that. I'm probably about halfway through the game. I'm kind of doing everything, so like
Mm.
I'm going back and getting all the stuff. Like
Hmm.
I think they have the gold bolts and like the cards. There's like collectible like
Yes.
trading cards or something. That game is a lot better at 60 FPS. It's still not great though.
Okay.
That is to me like the very definition of like a middle, like maybe one notch above middle. Like this game's fun, but it's not great. It's
Right.
definitely worse than the original Ratchet. That it's
I
like
think it even like launched at a $40 price point too. So I feel like it was like
no.
a cheap reboot almost that they were literally only doing to promote the movie. Like I don't feel like
Was it $40? I don't think that's true. I think that's
I'm not gonna look
let's
it up, but I'm pretty sure it did not launch at full price. Like that
now I have to
was a
look
movie
now
tie-in
now
game.
I have to look it up.
Yeah, please.
I mean, so yeah, I think that is true in that like based on the production quality that it seems like they're putting into the new one, it does seem
Yeah.
like this was more of an afterthought than the main course, which I guess the main course was the movie, which I think did not that great, right?
Right.
Um,
Yes, it did. Well, I don't think so. But me and Tran went to see it, so that was fun.
oh, I didn't even watch it. Was it any good?
They no. They have a lot of like I don't know, really dumb moments that are able to make me laugh, but that doesn't make it a good movie. But it's kind of
Okay,
funny, I guess is what
okay,
I'm trying to say. It's kind of funny.
interesting. Okay, yeah, I. Oh, interesting. It's
And
like
the
not
game they're
even.
releasing next week is literally ignoring the reboot entirely, and it's
I
continuing from the
imagine.
series of games that they made before the reboot. So I mean, that says something.
Oh, is it going back? So, is that part of? Is it okay? Because there are multiple. So they have like the original series up through like Deadlocked. Then they have like the Future Saga, which I didn't really play. I think I played Tools of Destruction on the PS3
Mm.
when that came out. But
Yeah, I didn't play anything after Deadlocked. All of that, like For the Booty or whatever all those games were called, like
I mean,
I
we
think
can
there's
all.
one called For the Booty or something like that.
There
Like it's
is, yeah, there is,
yeah.
or it's Quest for Booty is
Oh,
what it is.
excuse me. Yeah.
For the Booty is, I mean, while we can all agree, I
Yeah.
guess Quest for Booty is still pretty
It's the same. They're
suggestive.
synonymous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty suggestive, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm always on the quest for booty,
Yeah.
as I'm sure you can relate.
Vibes.
Um, yeah, no, yeah, a crack in time, all that stuff. I didn't really play those games. I thought they
Yeah.
were not that great. Like
Yeah.
I remember playing Tools of Destruction and being like, okay, I think I beat that one. I was like, all right, that's fine. It looks nice. It
That
looks
was the
really nice.
first like PS3 one,
PS3
right?
one, yeah,
I remember vividly the Ratchet and Clank about to come out is giving me like flashbacks to when that one was coming out,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
remember seeing the trailers and the gameplay, and I'm like, "Yo, we're getting a new Ratchet and Clank. It's gonna look so good and be so good." And then it
yeah,
was just okay. And
yep.
now this one, I feel like is them finally like hopefully hitting that like I don't know where I want them to hit with a new Ratchet and Clank in terms of quality. Like I hope it's good. I hope
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah. No, I'm with you. I think I fell off of the Ratchet and Clank series because the quality definitely took a little bit of a
Mm-hmm.
dip.
Yeah.
But I am totally open to being back in. Like I
Mm-hmm.
I went back and bought the collection that's on PS3 and played a bit
Mm-hmm.
of 1. I want to play 2 and 3, but
Mm-hmm.
I was going to beat 1 and then just didn't cuz turning on a PS3 and hooking it up every time is a pain. But
Yep.
I should just emulate it. But yeah, I those first like 3 games at least are, I think they're I've always
No,
thought
they're
Ratchet and
great.
Clank. I always thought Ratchet and Clank was better than Jack and Daxter, personally.
I think the fact that they continued to get games and Jack and Daxter didn't, and that they're getting a
Yeah,
PS5 game this early in the PS5's life,
it's
that I
true.
mean that says something about the Ratchet and Clank franchise. It was really
Well,
big.
or it just says something about Naughty Dog's like direction as a studio, right? I mean, it's not like,
Insomniac.
yeah, I mean, Resistance Fall of Man sure was fucking terrible. So I mean, of course they're gonna go back to the thing that's good. Like,
I was wondering what they had been doing in between like the PS2 and Spider-Man on PS4. I can't really think of Insomniac titles that stand out, right?
uh, wait, let's find out. Okay,
Wait, did Insomniac do like? Well, I guess that was still like the PS2 era. I don't know.
okay, Resistance. No, then they did Ratchet. Then they did Outer Knots. Did that even come out? Outer
Wait, I've
Knots
never even
was,
heard of that.
oh yeah, it was a
Outer
browser. It was
Knots.
a browser and mobile game.
Oh, they did do Sunset Overdrive. Remember?
That's right.
Remember that
Yes,
one?
I actually really liked Sunset Overdrive. I am the only person. I beat that game and thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't have an Xbox when it was like relevant, and then by the time I did have an Xbox, I just forgot it existed.
Yeah, yeah. I guess Sunset Overdrive was kind of, and then Spider Man,
Yeah.
and that was the deal. Um, yeah, I Song of the Deep. I remember not even trying, but it looked okay.
Oh, I didn't even know that was that's huh. Yeah, I forgot about that one too.
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame because I think they kind of fell off a little bit there for a minute.
Yeah.
Um, for sure. I mean, people didn't like Sunset Overdrive, but I mean, I did. But
Hmm.
and then basically, I mean, now that they've done Spider Man, they're all everybody's all in on Insomniac again.
Yep.
So I think that
Yep.
honestly, maybe that the success of Spider Man bought them a little bit of extra rope
Hmm.
on Ratchet and Clank. Like I think maybe the success of Spider Man, then of course Miles Morales, people like, I haven't played it yet, but I think that gave them some of the wiggle room they need to really invest in Ratchet and Clank again. Maybe, I mean, now that
Yeah.
Sony's probably just like, I don't know, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
Um,
From what I understand, Sony is very much like whatever y'all want to do. They weren't like make us a Ratchet and Clank.
yeah,
So it is interesting that they want to make a Ratchet and Clank, assuming they wanted to, but I don't know. To get back, I'm all for it. I'm very excited, and I just
yep.
hope it's good.
And I guess you're right. The Ratchet and Clank game launched at $40, which blows my mind. I don't even remember that being a thing. Um, that's
I
that's
do because I
insane.
bought it.
I mean, yeah, I bought it. I bought it the same. I bought it day of. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
I love Ratchet and Clank. Like I'm in on this. It looked really pretty, and then it ran
it
at
did.
30 FPS,
Yeah, it did.
and I stopped playing on like the third world because I was like, this is fucking boring.
Yep.
Anyway, I think so. To loop it all the way back around, Ratchet and Clank 2016 is partially fixed by making it 60 like it just feels better top to
Yeah.
bottom. It gives you a little bit more leeway as far as like timing, because that game is not, it's not hard, but it's not easy. I mean, if you go from Returnal to that, you're gonna have a pretty easy time. But I mean, it's, all the Ratchet and Clank games were relatively challenging. So I think this is an example of a like a reasonably difficult game. And I think, like Ghost of Tsushima, it's just it just is improved by making it 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
I think it goes up a point in my book, which makes it probably worth playing if you're interested in it at all. But I mean, I guess if they're just gonna retcon all that shit,
Yeah, I thought that was
then
interesting because it's just a reboot slash retelling of the first game's events, from
well,
what I
shit
understand.
happens differently so far,
Right.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, and I guess they said that it was because Quark is like an unreliable narrator. I read that recently that like
Oh.
the reason
Oh.
it's like the events of the first game from his perspective. I don't know.
Mm,
It's
okay.
dumb. They're
Yeah.
just digging themselves out of the hole the movie
Right.
built, but yeah. Mm. So I've been playing that. What else? What else you been playing? Let's go back and forth.
Yeah.
What?
Wait. What have I been playing? Hold on. Let me like.
Oh, okay,
I
all
know
right,
I've been playing Returnal. Monster Hunter got another update, so I dipped my toes in that for a little bit,
great.
but it was kind of lackluster in terms of like the amount of stuff. So
Okay,
kind of blew through that quickly. Oh, Mario Party. I've been playing a lot of Mario Party. A lot of my friends wanted to hop on the online, and I was like, fuck it, I'm down.
hmm,
And then we've been doing it. We've been doing the damn thing. It's been fun.
wow,
That game is
interesting.
all RNG, no skill.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's at no point do you control your destiny in Mario
No,
Party. It's
not
basically
at all.
just how like which god have I upset today that's going
Yeah.
to really fuck me over. Yeah, interesting.
Uh, hmm
Um, how is the online play for that? Like, do you feel like the connection is stable? Because I know Switch games have a problem with online play.
It's good if everybody's internet is good. I made the
Okay,
mistake of letting randoms join the other night, and there was lag the whole time. And then if someone DCs, it just ends the game.
great. Does it
Yeah.
like end the game, or is it like here's who was winning? I guess whoever was
No,
winning
it
wins.
just says connection error and takes you back to the main like thing.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
Whereas
Great.
like other Nintendo games too, if someone DCs, it'll just replace them with a bot without even
Right.
telling you. Like, so I was really shocked that they didn't do that for Mario Party, a game where that takes up a whole chunk of your night, like
Yeah.
period. There's no avoiding that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been a Mario Party person, honestly, but
Yeah.
I mean when I was a child, like the N64 ones, I did play a
hmm
bit, but I always kind of felt the bullshit
Yeah.
on that game for sure.
Yeah.
It's a very frustrating game to be losing at. Like if you're the person in last place who just is getting
Yes.
dog piled
It
on,
is just a horrible time if you're in last.
just just not fun. Like
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of VR stuff. Mostly Beat Saber, but
hmm,
dabbling with other stuff too. There's like some MMO on the Quest 2 that I've like kind
what?
of dabbled in. Yeah,
Is it free?
it's 15 bucks or 20 full price. It was
What's
on
it called?
sale. Orbus, Orbus.
I'm gonna look this up. Yeah,
Yeah,
when I get to New York, I'm gonna unbox my Quest 2 and we'll run that. I
yeah, there's some new MMO. It's in like I don't know, like invite only testing right now, I think, or
uh-huh.
something like that. Or maybe the people that helped kickstart it got to try it, but it's coming to Quest 2 pretty soon, I think, and it
Okay.
looks decent. It's like all everybody's avatar is like a full body, not like a floating body with little floaty hands like the one
Cool.
I'm playing. It's like they all have a full body. You can climb like anything that you can see. Like you can literally just go start climbing it with your
Oh,
hands.
that's neat.
A bunch of like yeah, just cool things, and it looks fun. Looks like a you know MMO. You go do
Yeah.
MMO things, but
I haven't been I did buy Beat Saber, but I haven't played it
hmm,
just cuz I'm so I'm just like right now my space is just not set up for VR, although, you know, I
right,
mean, I made it work for Half-Life Alex, which I thought was really worth it.
yeah.
Have you did you dabble in that at all or no?
I really want to. And I've actually wanted to talk to you about this. I can't figure out how to like do the connection to where it's like perfect, and maybe it just won't be perfect, and it's me wanting it to be perfect. But like anytime I play a VR game on PC with the Quest, it's like just kind of off a little bit to the point where I'm just like I must be doing something wrong, but not to the point where anything's unplayable. It's just like, oh, okay, like this is obviously not as smooth as it could be. Maybe I need to like adjust a
Yeah.
setting or
Are you
something.
doing it wirelessly?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while, so I would have to reset it up and like figure out again. And I know they've actually updated some things.
Hmm.
Didn't they add in beta their own wireless streaming thing? Oculus did from their
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
Have you tried that?
Yeah, that's what I'm using. I haven't even tried
Okay.
virtual desktop, which I've thought maybe I should just drop the $20
So
and use virtual
virtual
desktop.
that's what I did. Virtual
Right.
desktop, there's like tutorials online that tell you how to get the lowest possible latency, which is
Mm.
still not perfect, by the way. I mean,
Yeah.
just I'm gonna say that it's definitely, especially like I got a new router and it's a lot better after I did. I got a Wi-Fi 6 router and like
Mm.
one of the most, I mean, Jesus, I've never spent this much money on a router before, but like once
Yeah.
I did, it became considerably better and more stable.
Yeah.
That was the thing, is it would be great for like 30 minutes and then all of a sudden it'd be
Mm.
like, oh no, now I'm like just noticeable enough on, it's really noticeable when you're catching or throwing things. That's the
Mm.
thing. Otherwise it's like whatever. But yeah, I would, if the Facebook one isn't great, which it doesn't surprise me that it's not. I think it's still in beta. um
Yeah.
if that one's not great, try the virtual desktop. Just look up a tutorial, go through it. I mean, $20 is a lot, but
Yeah.
the things you can do with virtual desktop is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it
Um,
looks really cool, and I've wanted to get it just to get it. It's just when I got the Quest, they had already added like
yeah,
their own version, so I was like, well, I'll just fuck around with this, and it's pretty cool too. It's not as interesting as virtual desktop. It's just, a very simplified free version of that, but
yeah.
I've watched a lot of videos online that are directly comparing the two, and they're doing stuff from Beat Saber, which is on Quest anyway, so I don't know why you would do that, I guess. But
Higher fidelity,
to
right?
to right to
Maybe the sound sounds better, higher quality.
to Half-Life Alex and stuff where they're literally like throwing and catching things,
Yeah.
which I thought was funny that you said that. And they all say the same thing, and that Quest calls it Airlink. That the
Oh,
Airlink is actually pretty good,
yeah.
if not better, but the virtual desktop does do other things better. I can't
I
remember what specifically, but they both have their own pros and cons, basically.
Interesting. I remember
Yeah.
virtual desktop being really configurable. I don't know if that's true for AirLink since I haven't tried it, but virtual desktop, I could like tweak so many settings that it would really change the experience. Like you could like make it look shitty if you want, just to improve
Yeah.
latency. Like things like that. Like you could really get
Mm.
down into the nitty-gritty. You could set a lot of settings graphically and otherwise.
Hmm.
Things like bit rate is,
Yeah. You. Hmm.
but yeah, and then they had like a super low latency like bypass
Mm.
checkbox in that's like, hey, if you're playing games, you might want to turn this on, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah,
Right.
but um,
Yeah. The Airlink does have a bunch of settings, but it's all kind of stuff I don't know what I need to fuck with to
yeah.
potentially increase it. Like there are bitrate settings and stuff like that, so that's good.
Is
But
your
yeah,
router
I
like
haven't.
right next to you?
No, but I'm hardwired to it, which I guess doesn't matter if I'm doing the Airlink. But my computer is hardwired to the router, so that's good at least. But
Windows just popped a notification. Thank you, Windows. Everyone in the podcast gets to enjoy that.
yeah,
Um, yeah, no. So, um,
well, I will
being
say though that the issue. Sorry to like before I forget the
no,
issue
you're
I
good.
am
Yeah,
having because I'm curious if this is like potentially what you've had to deal with. Everything will be fine, but then let's say, and then especially like this is what will happen if it's like loading maybe
yeah.
a new zone or something. It's just like all of the sudden it'll stop being fine and like I'll be moving, but nothing else will be moving, and then it'll like try to catch up like
Oh,
with the
interesting.
movements I just did, and then
Huh.
there'll just be like it'll just be really bad out of nowhere, and then it'll be fine, and it's like, oh,
Interesting.
okay, I'm back to normal, but
I mean,
yeah, I don't know
here.
why.
So my understanding of how virtual desktop worked, it is essentially sending the data through your hardwired connection back to your router, and your router is then beaming it out to your headset. So there's almost a
Yes.
direct connection between your router and your headset, which means you need to pretty much be in the same room as your router.
Yeah, and I've tried that too because my router is in another room, but it's also the most spacious room we have.
Okay,
So it's like
okay.
I can go out there, be right next to the router,
Yeah.
and still kind of have the same issues. I haven't tried to do anything other than Phasmophobia.
Okay.
which works relatively fine. Like I said, it really only does it when it first loads up an area or just like
Yeah,
randomly every now and then it'll kind of be weird. But I played the entire game without even thinking about the fact that I was doing it via Airlink. Like I didn't even think about it. Like I
got
was
it.
just totally fine.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's still just like that weird thing. Like I can tell it's not as good as like just playing the quest on its own. So it's just like maybe I can get it
yeah.
better. But maybe I can't. Maybe that's just as good as it gets right now, or I need to
At
try
least for
Virtual
now.
Desktop.
Or
Yeah.
you could just buy a fucking cable.
Well, my roommate has the cable, and it actually works worse than
What?
Virtual Desktop for him. So I just didn't even
Oh,
bother. Yeah.
what? Not for me. It was like
No, there's like
flawless.
huge latency. Like he even
Wait,
tried it.
did he buy the official Oculus cable or
Yeah,
no?
yeah,
Come on. Okay,
yeah.
something weird's going on.
No,
Dude,
it is. We don't know what it is though.
it was like flawless for me. I bought the cable and I just hooked it into my computer and played. Like I played before I got the new router. I kind of switched to playing Alex that way because the connection would just kind of fluctuate too much to make it really great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean it was flawless. It was perfect.
Yeah, I don't know why,
I
but
think my
I mean, there
one
was a huge issue. It was like
that's insane.
big latency, like
I don't know.
not.
Yeah, something really weird's going on then. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, maybe what graph? I don't know. This is not the tech support podcast, I guess, but
Yeah.
like
I don't
graphics
know what
card
he
might.
has, but my computer wouldn't be having any issues like for
You should
any
just
reason.
try it just to fucking do it. I mean, but I mean, if you really want to
Yeah.
play Alex, you know, if you
Yeah.
don't, Alex was like, I mean, it was my game of the year last year, so I'm
Yeah.
like,
No, I've heard a lot of people say that too, like on other shows I listen to. It's like they all
yeah,
say, "Why didn't Alex get more recognition? This game is actually amazing, not just as a video game, but as far as pushing VR forward. Like people need
yeah,
to talk about this." And I'm like, "Damn, I need to play it."
yeah. I mean, it's. I think it's really worth the hassle if you can get it set up.
Hmm.
But anyway, we can. I I've been playing Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, yeah.
um I played through Mass Effect 1, the original version on PC about 3 4 years ago.
Okay.
The last time with the intention of carrying over to 2 and then just didn't. Um and then like I do this thing where every once in a while I wipe my hard drive just to start clean, and Mass Effect doesn't store saves in the cloud and blah blah blah. So anyway,
Mm. Yeah.
so I'd have to start over again, which I didn't do. So I'm playing it on PS5.
Yeah.
Um, that's a great game.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 1 is a great game, and I think
It's so BioWare-y. It's like, damn, remember when BioWare
yeah,
did this?
yeah. Remember when every game they made followed the same template, which was like meet a bunch of people and recruit them to your party, travel
Yeah.
around to a bunch of different places and accomplish different objectives, meet for one final confrontation, you know, somewhere.
Yeah.
Like it was always just like the same kind of structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love Mass Effect. I still think Mass Effect 1 is my favorite. I mean, I need to play the other two again in the trilogy. Mass Effect 1 has always been my favorite in the trilogy. This port is weird. It looks, I mean, I guess it does the thing that remasters are supposed to do, which is that, like, in my mind's eye, that's what Mass Effect looks like. But in
Mhm.
actuality, you go back and look at it, it's fucking, like, definitely worse.
Right.
This is still a pretty ugly game. I'm gonna just say it. Like,
Yeah.
art direction and design of the Mass Effect universe is stupendous. It's like incredible.
Mhm.
The
Its
textures,
sound design. Ooh.
sound design, yeah, incredible. You the texture, the high res textures are
Mhm.
nice, but they really only do a better job of reminding you how stupid this game looks. Like it's just all the textures are weird. Everybody's face is like fucked up.
People
Like
look weird, bro.
it's people gave Andromeda shit, and rightfully so. But
Yeah.
it's not like any of the Mass Effect or BioWare games really looked that incredible in the face department. Like I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, I think Inquisition was probably the best looking game they've ever made, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's probably the worst game that they made. But you know, that's neither here. Well, Andromeda's worse actually. Sorry. Maybe that Sonic RPG on the DS that they made is where I only played a little bit of
Oh,
that.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's pretty great. But I like Mass Effect 1. Everybody should play Mass Effect 1 and agree with me that it's the best. Do you remember pre-release when they were like, "Hey, we're going to have an alternative control scheme for the Mako?" Do you remember that?
I know they adjusted the Mako greatly. I don't
They
know.
did? Because it seems the fucking same to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't played old Mass Effect and the remaster and well ever for the remaster, but I haven't played old Mass Effect since, 10 years ago. But from what I understand, what everybody's saying, it's still very bad, but it's way better. That's what everybody's saying. I don't know.
Interesting. It was to me
Yeah,
it was
no idea.
always fine. It was always like
Oh,
inoffensive. I mean, it was never great, but it did the job. And it
all
still
right.
feels that way. I don't
I
know.
vividly remember suffering anytime I had to get in that thing. I
Interesting.
absolutely despised ever having to get in that fucking vehicle.
I do think it controls better on PC. That's my experience playing it now on PS5 again. Like on it because I originally played it on 360 like back when it was new.
Yeah.
I think PC it controls a little bit better. Um
Have you flipped?
no,
Oh, then
not
you're
at all.
doing great. Wait, what?
Yeah, never.
Oh,
I'm a
that's
fucking
that's
pro.
that's the test. Is like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't stop flipping over. It's just like,
No. No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't know. I think the thing that they really should have fixed in this game, which of course they're not going to because that would take forever, just the design of the planets is so bad.
oh, really?
Like
Huh?
not the story planets. I mean the random planets that you land on that are just like 90% tall mountains and it takes you 45 minutes to get around because
Hmm.
the Mako drives up tall mountains really fucking slow and sometimes you get stuck and then you
Yeah.
slowly slide down.
Yeah.
It's
Damn.
not good, man.
No.
It's not good. I mean, like, I still do them all because I love just being in that world. But like, I got the trophy last night for or night before for beating a majority of the game or what. It was like do most of the
Oh,
content. I'm like, that's a weird trophy,
yeah, it is.
but okay. So yeah, I'm like a little over halfway probably. I just finished. I did Novaria. I think I brought this up the last time we talked, but those stained glass windows still there, or not stained glass? They're like frosted.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
The
like a
frosted.
bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like a bathroom window, but they're everywhere. Like the weird chunky glass,
Yes.
big squares. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hmm.
Love Novaria, great place. The Rachni, kind of weird. Big lobsters. I don't know. Um, yeah, that game's cool. That game's cool. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna try to do the trilogy, but I'm realizing that I will not have time to do it before I move, probably, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah.
um,
I want to play Mass Effect so bad. I just knew I wouldn't have the time, so it's just like, why even start?
yeah, is Ratchet and Clank next week?
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
Friday?
Okay.
Yeah, Friday.
I'm not even gonna bother. I won't even have time to play it. But um, yeah, maybe next time we talk. By the time we talk again, I'll have played a little bit of it, hopefully. But I'm excited for that. And I guess what else is soon? Isn't there something else?
Only thing I know is the same day as the Final Fantasy VII remake
Right, that's right.
re-release.
Yeah,
Other than
Friday. Yeah,
that, I feel like stuff is coming out, but I don't know what.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. It's a weird time to be playing games right now because I feel like we went through such a drought
Hmm.
for a minute there. Like it kind of felt like post PS5 launch up till recently, there wasn't really much coming out. But
Yeah,
I still had
agreed.
a lot that I was keeping myself busy with. Like I really fucking
Hmm.
went all in on Demon Souls. So
Yeah, I've been playing that again too, by the way.
hmm,
I started over, not for any reason other than I wanted to, I guess. I just wanted to
I
go
love
back in with
yeah.
like the eyes I have now, having played through what I had played through already. And yeah, I am very rusty. It's sad. I also played Bloodborne again recently, and I was really rusty at that too. Like my
Yeah.
Souls swag is really down bad. Like I
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna do a little Bloodborne you
Yeah,
know,
please.
we'll talk. All
You
right,
mentioning you talking
yeah.
about Bloodborne specifically reminds me of the time that I went over to your house in Florida when I was visiting from Chicago, and I speed ran the first like 4 hours of
Oh yeah,
Bloodborne.
you did.
Like really, I like blitzed through. Didn't even equip any armor. Just like speed ran Bloodborne all the way up through. I think I beat the Did I don't even think I leveled up. I
I
think I
don't
got
think
all
you
the
did
way. I
either.
beat the blood starved beast,
Yeah.
and then I think whatever. I think Vicar Amelia was just like impossible, so I gave up. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. That's so funny. I forgot about that.
It's just like
With
sitting in
all
the
the
corner
little
by myself.
yeah. I so you know the first area when you get to the part where there's like a big fire and there's all the enemies around the fire.
Yeah,
It's just like that part where there's a fuck ton of enemies and there's only
yeah,
one way you can go and it's like up the stairs and then there's a guy with a gun right there and that's
yep.
like that marks the point where you would get past that and to the next part of the area.
Mhm.
Okay, for whatever reason, I could not get past that part. I was like underestimating how many guys were actually there, forgetting about things like the dogs. Like, I don't know, I was just making mistakes. And then another thing, too, is the RNG was fucking me. Nobody was dropping potions. Nobody. So I had
Mm,
no healing. So I kept getting to the same part where I'm at the top of the stairs where the dude with a gun is, and then for whatever reason I'm just so bad now. I couldn't time getting to him without getting shot.
uh,
So I would always get to that part with one hit left, no potions, and then he would be the last guy, the dude with the gun, and then he would just fucking blow my face off every time. And I died there like literally 10 to 15 times. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And then
yeah.
so,
I
huh?
mean, I think part of it probably is going back to the horrible fucking feel of Bloodborne. Like that game just feels like you're moving through molasses because of the frame rate. Um, but also Bloodborne is I mean it's a Souls game, but it's the most different I would say, other than
Yeah.
Sekiro, I guess. But Sekiro is not a Souls game, so but yeah, I mean Bloodborne does feel different. I remember when Bloodborne first came out, having already played Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 and 2. I died at the bonfire a couple of times. Like, I mean, that was like harder than the first boss.
Yeah.
That space is just so. I mean, it's literally they just funnel in to fucking murder you.
Yeah.
And they're yeah, the dogs suck. I mean, dogs in every Souls game are always bad.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
always one of the worst enemies. And then
Oh yeah.
Bloodborne doubles down. They're like, we got dogs and we got crows, bro.
Huh.
Like,
And then we got
uh,
dog crows
yeah, that's true. Yeah, much later. Yeah. Um, and crow dogs actually.
and
Now I
crow
think.
dogs.
Um, yeah, it's. I've been thinking about going back to play Bloodborne. I think I'm like holding out hope that they're gonna update that game. Like
Dude, me too.
I just can't. I mean, even if it doesn't come to PC, which at this point I don't give a shit, they just should patch it so it can run smooth. Like, just give me that. You don't even have to update the visuals. Just throw a patch on that bad boy. Let it
Yeah.
run. Uh, please,
Yeah.
please.
Agreed. Huge agree. Yeah. But I was actually only replaying it because my friend Jerry finally has a PS4
Hmm.
after all this time, and I sent him my copy of Bloodborne because I got it digitally for free from PlayStation at some point. So I was like, "Yo, we're gonna play this." And I was just trying to get through the first area so we could play together. And I was just like, okay, maybe we're not going to play this because I'm not good enough to even get to a point where we can't.
Yeah.
Um, and so hop back into the Demon Souls, like basically right after that. Oh, yeah. And you're right, by the way. Bloodborne is so different in the sense that I kept like, even just the controls, I kept trying to like two hand my weapon and was healing instead. Just like weird stuff like that. Like I'm so used to like the Souls formula that
Yeah.
going to the Bloodborne formula, it is actually quite different when you're like out of that for a while. You kind of forget, or I did.
Yeah.
But going back to Demon Souls, dude, I'm way better at that than I am at Bloodborne, but it's just so unforgiving. Like I'm sure, I mean, but it's just like, oh man, literally just one mistake or fluke, and it's just like all that progress lost.
Yeah. The nice thing about Bloodborne, or well, the nice thing about Demon Souls is that I do think they are better at spacing out um, for most of the areas. The run to the boss is always long, but they're
Hmm.
always really good at designing the areas in a way that makes it pretty easy to get back through again once you've been through once, which is nice.
Yeah.
Um, but I think I, as somebody who played through Demon Souls 3 times in the last
Hmm.
6 months, I'm fucking really done with that game. But
Yeah.
I do think I it like it has crept into maybe being my second favorite Souls game. I don't know. I need to really I need to play them all again. That's the thing. But like
They're all really good in their own way. I think
just yeah,
like
for different reasons, right? I
yeah,
mean, they're
exactly.
all so great.
I
And
think one, like the level design is probably the best. Maybe I'm
yeah,
wrong about that, but in memory, it feels like it was the best.
I
Like
think
it
so.
really impressed me. Maybe
Other than like the
Bloodborne, even the
Crystal
level
Cave.
design is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then two, I don't know what it is I like about two, but there's something there. I couldn't tell you what.
Just the minute I think the variety of environments in two is really good at propelling you forward. It keeps you very interested in where you're going.
Yeah.
That's kind of true of Demon Souls as well, although it's all kind of dark and grimy. But yeah, I agree with you. I like them all for very different reasons. Three's probably the best feeling
Yes.
of all the Souls
Like
games,
that
other
is a
than
good video game.
yeah,
Like,
other than like Bloodborne. Which I mean, Bloodborne, like back when it came out and people weren't so like it wasn't so hard to think about the frame rate without wanting to fucking tear your eyes out.
yeah.
Um, I remember thinking the Bloodborne was the best feeling because it was like smooth. It was like dashing through, not no shields, all that stuff. I really liked that aspect of it,
Oh
but
yeah.
I think the last third of Bloodborne is one of my least favorite games
Oh,
of in the Soul
interesting.
series. Yeah, the last third
Hmm.
of that game is like I don't like it. I Once you get to Nightmare of Mensis, I'm like, all right, I'm out. Let's fuck this.
Yeah, it's definitely a bad time
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
It's that's the thing, man. Keep playing Demon Souls. I want to. I think that game's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that more. I really like that game. There's some areas in that game that I want you to see.
Yeah. No, I really want to get through it. Other than Sekiro, it would be like the only one I haven't gone through. And then
Yeah,
Sekiro, I know I could beat, like, which is all I really wanted to prove to myself at the time. I made it far enough to the game where I knew I could. It's just like I ran out of free time and then never got back to it. But
yeah,
Demon Souls, I still like need to prove it to myself. Like I need to show myself that I can even get through it, and I really want to. Yeah, and the lore of Demon Souls is really good too. Like I kind of want to know more about what's going on, even though Souls lore is always kind of vague. But
yeah,
it's very cool universe with the old one and all that stuff, and
yeah.
yeah, I like it. Uh,
Cool.
but I don't know. It's funny too for me that didn't play it before, like it really doesn't feel that old most of the time. Like every now and then it's blatantly obvious, especially with like enemy AI, they will just be
Yeah,
like super old. Like I just like that is an old video game AI. Like the way they move and do things, it just feels ancient. But like the rest of the game, it like feels, and especially maybe it's just because of how it looks, but it's just like, God damn,
yeah,
fuck, I don't feel how old it is as much as maybe you do playing the Mass Effect remaster. I'm sure the age is much more apparent
yeah, dude.
playing through Mass Effect 1
You want to
again
talk
than
about
is Demon
AI
Souls.
problems? Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
Fucking,
Um
I lose my companions half the time. Like they'll get stuck behind a door, and then they will just never show up again until I hit a new checkpoint, and then they load right next to me.
oh
Like,
no.
thanks, guys. That happens
Yeah.
more often than I would really fucking like, which is at least once per world.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. We'll talk. We'll talk more. Demon Souls. You should see it through. You should really see it through. Um. Yeah. Cool. What else? What else? Anything else?
Um, hmm. Let me think. Oh, I did want to look up like what else was coming out
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. I so yeah, I've been really out of the loop because I've just been so fucking head down on life that I haven't been looking at news or anything like that. So
Right.
I don't really but I feel like there's not much. I mean, it's kind of just what they did. 3080 Ti came out, the new Nvidia card, which is just as impossible to get as all the other 30 series ones.
Yeah.
I didn't even try. I mean, I guess that would be the one that I would like be the most. It would be the most worth it for me because I have a 2080 Ti, and so it would be at least a one generation upgrade. But also I'm just not playing games often enough to need that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still so content with my 20 whatever I have. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're an insane person like me, who if I like run a new game and it doesn't run flawlessly at the exact settings that I want, I'm like, that's it. Throw this old hunk of junk out. Like Jesus, let's go. Yeah, I mean, I, but I haven't been playing things very much, so I haven't run into that problem, which is nice. I feel like I downloaded the Metro enhanced edition. They like Metro Exodus did an update a couple of weeks ago that
I think.
changed.
hmm
What were you
I
gonna say?
think what you're talking about has like a PS5 version too, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It they might have updated it on PS5 as well, but this is like full ray traced lighting. Like
Yeah.
they've taken out all of the baked in lights and have replaced it with only ray tracing, which I mean, it sounds like a gimmick and it kind of is, but it does change the look of that game pretty substantially in a way that makes me
Right.
want to like I beat Metro Exodus already, so I don't need to go back and play the main game, but it did it for the DLC as well, which I haven't played.
Mm,
But the main thing that's cool about that, there's just like even muzzle flashes are ray traced, so it
hmm.
like lights up rooms
Right.
like that, or you've got random lights like blinking lights, like just shit that's cool, flashlights on your guns, like all
Hmm.
that stuff being fully ray traced. And I think the main thing was before a lot of that stuff was, but what they've done is they've gone and changed all the world lighting to be ray. So like the sun casts rays now
Hmm.
exclusively, and it all bounces and reflects off of materials in a realistic way. Like it just looks really nice.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I wanna check that out. I bet it probably runs like shit on my computer, but who knows? Um, did you see anything else that was coming out?
Yes. And also things that came out that I forgot about.
Okay, go ahead.
Biomutant. Any
Oh
interest in
yeah,
that?
I mean, I've been following it for a little bit. I like everybody, I guess, because it
Yeah.
looked neat. Like it looked
No, it
like
does. Yeah.
pretty cool. I've heard bad things.
Yes. It's a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Exactly right. The
Um,
new Master of None season came out also, so there you
oh,
go. Good
what?
good
Really?
segue.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, it
It's
did.
about
Yeah,
time. What the?
yeah, yeah.
uh,
Did you? So do you think you'll play Biomutant or what's?
I think I'll cop it on a sale one day. I'm not
Okay.
interested right now with a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff that I am interested in coming out and then things I haven't finished as well. But I'm not interested at full price. I think I will cop it on a sale and probably have a good time from what I understand.
Yeah.
I have like no expectations for the game. Like I don't know. I just like RPGs. I did for some reason think it was like something entirely different. I thought it was not a single player game. I thought they were going for like the whole experience this story with your friends for player co-op adventure thing, but it's
Yeah.
like not that at all. I didn't even realize what the game
Yeah.
was until it came out.
I mean, I looking at the design of it, it feels like it maybe could have been something different or something like that, or maybe like watching people play it, it feels like it was almost an MMO. Like like
Yeah,
they've kind of
yeah.
designed it very sparse open world, very just
hmm
like here's a quest, go do it and come back. Like this is a really weird comparison, and this is a game that I wanted to play but never have. Kingdoms of Amalur
I
Reckoning.
knew you were gonna say that. And look, yes, yes.
It looks just like that game. It
It
like
does. It really does.
it
That's
just
so
in the same
funny.
like way that games can be single player MMOs. Like it, I
Yep.
mean, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning literally was they built the engine for.
An MMO.
They were working on an MMO and they were just like,
Yep.
well, we've got the engine, we've got this, let's just put this out, and then we'll just build the MMO on the back of sales from this. And of course, we all know that did not
Yep.
work out.
Nope. Yep.
But I mean, the funny thing about Biomutant is the stuff that I hear that doesn't work is different for every person.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's the gameplay or the way it feels. Sometimes it's the world building or the story or the I guess it has a David Attenborough-esque narrator because it's about animals.
It has one guy with an accent just reading everything.
Yeah, which doesn't work for some people. Like just everybody has their own bone to pick with that game, and I feel bad for the developers because when you're looking at feedback like that, you're kind of like, well, like how do we even begin to fix this? But apparently they've said they're gonna do like major patches to it. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think, and I could be wrong about this, I think this is another one of those games that I think got a delay or two at some point in its life.
Yeah,
so it even being out is probably all they were trying to accomplish at this point, and that they do just want to fix it from here.
Yep.
If I had to guess. But I don't know. I think it could be fun for sure. I have no expectations, so I'll probably enjoy it a lot just off of that. Like I have no hype or level of like quality it needs to meet. Like I just like to have fun and cool looking video games.
Yeah.
But a lot of like people I listened to that were kind of looking forward to it have all said that even though like Biomutant is like not fully there, they are pretty they have like they all have said the same thing, that they're pretty confident whatever these people make next and learn from Biomutant is going to be really fucking cool, hopefully. Like that's assuming a lot, but
yeah, if they get to make another game, which I hope they do, like I think that's the thing that people are like weird. People who play video games are very strange and that they want certain games to fail or like do this.
Yeah.
But I mean, the main thing is that like when studios get to make more shit, like that's good for everyone. Like whatever the next project they work on, whether it's like a sequel to Biomutant or a totally different thing, they're going to apply all the lessons they've learned from Biomutant to this new game. And I think that's everyone should look forward to that. Like it really opens the door on possibilities. You know, hopefully this game sells well enough that they get some kind of budget and they don't have to, shut their doors or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you that I think, I would openly welcome their next project based on what I saw that looks cool about Biomutant. But
yep. And then also, have you been following Knockout City at all?
No, I heard
Yeah.
I heard the fucking Bombcast talk about it. I'm not, as somebody who doesn't play multiplayer games that much anymore, that
right. Yeah, it doesn't really appeal to me either, but a lot of my friends are like talking about it and asking me to play it, so I figured I'd bring it up. But yeah, it hasn't really appealed to me at all, actually. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That
Yeah. But I figured I'd ask, like, you never know.
It's true. Maybe I was going to be really fucking enthusiastic about it.
I love dodgeball.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're about to head into E3, like maybe a pretty major E3 potentially, full of, different announcements from, like, people are rumoring that Switch Pro, whatever the fuck they're going to call that thing, they should definitely call it the Super Switch.
Yeah, Super Switch would be cool.
Super Switch would be good. If they do not, I'll probably buy one anyway.
Yeah, I was going to ask you where you stood on that, I guess, because I'm ready for my Switch to not play my games like shit, for sure.
Yeah, I know you are. Yeah, I remember you've definitely got a bone to pick with Switch game performance lately.
It's inexcusable. Go download the Hyrule Warriors demo on your Switch. I will not.
Thank you.
And then cry at how poorly that runs. That's
I won't.
inexcusable.
That's the thing for me though, is that like that's a game that I don't really. I mean, I'm not interested in anyway necessarily because I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, and I haven't played a Dynasty Warriors game in like 15 fucking years. But um, that to me seems like a game that wasn't really meant for the Switch. Like it's like games like the games that excel on the Switch to me are like games that are not that graphically intensive. Which I
Yeah,
mean, maybe that game isn't. Maybe it just runs bad because the Switch is bad. But I with the exception of Breath of the Wild, which also didn't run amazingly. I mean, it was mostly good. I think the best gaming experiences I've had on Switch are games that don't rely on frame rate to be enjoyable. Like indie games or
yeah.
games that have a different game flow. I played Paradise Killer on the Switch a bit, and that's just a walking around and talking to people game, which I would love to go back to, but sadly, haven't. But yeah, I think there's I don't know. They should really nail down on. Well, I guess that's some news. Is Valve maybe entering that market, the handheld gaming market?
Oh yeah,
Um, I mean, it's not really news because who fucking knows what that could possibly be. Like there's
yeah,
obviously no announcement. There's no real concrete details, but a competitor to the Switch makes sense because it could spur Nintendo. Actually, no. What am I even? I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop saying things. I don't know why I was even gonna say that. It will not spur Nintendo to do anything because nothing ever does. Like
yeah,
like Nintendo operates in their own realm, far away from all other game studios. They don't give a shit about what any other game studio or hardware developer is doing. Like they just make the same games that they know are gonna sell and are usually good. Like I
yeah,
like I don't really have any qualms with Nintendo as a company, but they seem uninterested in the gaming industry at large, which I think is very funny. Because if
yeah.
let's say Valve comes out with a really good counterpoint to the Switch in like the form of
Hmm.
a similarly sized handheld PC like device or whatever. Okay, it's not like Nintendo's gonna suddenly make better hardware. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, no, no.
people buy Nintendo consoles for the franchises that they're gonna put the game, like
For
whatever
sure.
the new Metroid Prime is, if that ever comes out,
Yeah.
that kind of
Right.
shit. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. Switch Pro, I would buy one just because, I you know, it's a handheld thing. It's a thing to do, especially now that I'm gonna be traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Makes sense for me.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Had a little technical difficulty there, but I think we're back on track. My OBS crashed. I don't know. Thanks, OBS. Um. Anyway, yes, we were talking about
The Switch.
the Switch Pro. What do you think about? Would you buy a Switch Pro?
Yeah, ultimately I want one. I guess it depends on what it would actually be. If it's literally just a better Switch, like the exact same thing, just runs everything better, literally that's
Maybe a
it.
better
That's all I
screen.
want. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, for sure. Like an upgrade, yeah, to it just but I don't want like them to do anything crazy. Like, I'm thinking to the 3DS, you know what I mean? They did a lot of weird stuff in its lifetime. They made a 2DS, they added a little nub for an analog, like all this weird shit. I don't want them to try anything crazy like the Switch Lite, which is just the Switch that can't be on a TV. Like, I mean, that's cool and that does work for a lot of people actually, but that's not the type of stuff I want. I don't want something
Yeah.
different. I want something the same but better, literally. That's me personally. If they do something weird and try to make this new gimmick for the Switch Pro that new games will try to utilize that the old Switch can't do, I'm immediately gonna be like, God, just go fuck yourselves. But I don't know. I don't know. I just want it to play games good. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all. They don't have
Yeah.
to look good. I like Nintendo's style. They can keep making baby games. I just want the baby games to run better.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I think they are in an interesting position because theoretically, for the types of games they make and for the audience that they have, they don't really need to do anything.
Yeah.
So, who is this for, I guess is the question. Like who really is other than us like clamoring for a higher end Switch. And of course, like if this does come out, they're still going to want to support the old models. So,
Yeah.
just like what they did with the 3DS, which it's funny to me now thinking back that they discontinued the 3DS before they did the 2DS, I think, right? Like I think the 2DS ended up outliving because they just stopped really making 3D games. Um
Um, I think you might be right because they definitely started doing the big 2DS that literally
yeah.
was just a 3DS, like because they
Yeah,
did
but
that
like
first one that
thinner.
was like the weird Game Boy
Yeah,
looking thing.
looked like a
Uh,
door wedge, door stop.
yeah,
Talking
and
about
then
that didn't even fold.
right, yep, and then they did the actual 3DS looking one. I actually
Yeah.
have one of those.
It was a nice looking piece of hardware. Oh nice. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Crossley is holding up to a 3DS and a 2DS. Is that a case? It looks like a Pokeball. Is that a
No,
case
no, this
or
is actually just the
oh
2DS. I got a
oh that's pretty
limited
cool.
one
That's
that
pretty
has a
cool.
little button on it. Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't do anything, but
nice. I think my 3DS XL was my new 3DS XL was from when Fire Emblem came out.
hmm,
Not the obviously not the Switch one came out since then. It was the one before that. It was
yeah,
that
they
special
actually
edition.
made like three or four on the 3DS, but I'm
What?
assuming you mean the good one that was called Awakening.
Yes, I do mean that. I didn't like it that much,
Oh,
but yeah,
hey,
but I did play it. I didn't.
I
I don't know.
fucking loved that game. That was such a good game for
Yeah,
me.
I Fire Emblem games are a little bit too long sometimes, I think, but
Oh yes, I played that game over the course of like 3 years. Like I would just pick it up and
yeah.
kind of play a map a little bit and put it back down.
I've started that game over probably 3 times and never finished it. So,
Yeah.
oops. Anyway, yeah. I don't have anything else. I think that might be it. I think that was. I mean, we just resumed here, but I mean, I don't have a lot of news to go over because I've been really paying attention to anything, and for me, that's pretty much all I've been playing. You got anything else you're itching to talk about?
I don't think so. The only things I noticed that are also coming out are Chivalry 2
Eh.
and the Ninja Gaiden collection. All of this stuff coming out this coming week with Ratchet and
Oh,
Clank Final
interesting.
Fantasy.
I thought that was already out for some reason.
I did too.
Yeah, I
Guess
that's
not.
something that I would be interested in playing, but probably
Yeah,
not anytime soon. And I've heard mixed
right.
things. I think about what those ports are going to be. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe in terms of like because I don't know. There's like 5 different versions of Ninja Gaiden 3.
Oh yeah, I remember us talking about that.
Yeah, and I guess people were saying that maybe not the good one is going to be in the port. I don't know. It's too complicated to
Yeah,
even begin here, but it sounds like we've already. I think I do remember us going over that back when they first announced it, but I'm interested in seeing what E3's like. That's happening obviously very soon.
yeah.
There's
No,
like a
I am too.
it's June 12th. Is the kickoff? I guess it's like a pre-show.
And there's like other digital events going on too, right? Like
Yeah,
the
Jeff
dude that
Keighley's got
does the
something.
Game Awards, yeah, is like
Yeah,
trying to compete with E3 and do his own thing, which honestly I feel like he could do it better from what I understand. Like he seems to be really good at getting people to come together and show stuff off. Like I feel like I am usually way more hyped for one like cool announcement at the Game Awards than I am for
yeah.
E3 stuff because companies kind of just announce their own shit when they're ready now, not usually at E3. At least that's in my memory. When's the last time we got a cool E3 announcement? It's been like a couple of years, right? Or am I wrong?
Like something big.
like something like, yeah, like, oh shit, holy fuck.
Well, I mean, E3 didn't happen last year. They didn't do anything last year.
They
They
didn't
just
do
canceled
anything.
it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but Jeff Keighley did do his thing last year. It
Yeah.
basically stood in for E3, but it I
I
don't
guess it
know. I
didn't have
can't
any
remember.
announcements though, did it
I
really?
don't. I mean,
They did a lot of teasers. Like they had a Dragon Age like logo, I think. Like they did. I think I remember now. The Game Awards this past year did a bunch of tease, like
well, that was
really.
different also. But yes, that was in. Was that in December?
Yeah.
No, they did something around E3 time last year that
Oh.
stood in for E3. It was like Jeff Keighley's inaugural E3
Oh.
stand-in thing. They like
I
canceled
didn't even remember
E3,
that.
like wasn't even a thing,
Huh.
and yeah, so there was that. Um, it's I think they're basically just kind of they're almost not competing in a way because they're just kind of happening around each other and like good shit's gonna happen at both, so everybody will just
Oh
watch
yeah.
both.
Right.
But it's basically just an E3 for people for like companies that don't participate in E3 anymore. Um, which I
Yeah.
think Sony is one of those, which they'll have their own thing, I guess, but it might tie into Jeff Keighley's thing. I don't think anybody's
Right.
really fully said yet, but yeah, next that's the 12th, so basically a week from now
Yeah.
is
I'm
the
actually
pre-show.
I think and I think it's because of the lack of just stuff we know about what's coming out the rest of this year. I'm so ready for some news. Like I'm so hungry for it. I just want to know what's coming like
Yeah,
really really bad. So I'm hoping like this E3 is going to be really fucking cool after the year of uncertainty
yeah,
that we'll finally just be looking forward to a bunch of cool stuff or at least know when it's coming. Like I'm already looking forward to stuff, but I don't know when it's coming.
yeah. So Jeff Keighley's thing is called Summer Games Fest. They did do
Mhm.
one last year. Um,
Huh.
I don't remember it being that interesting, but
Yeah, me either.
maybe I'm just like totally misremembering. We might have even had an episode about it. So Summer Games Fest for Jeff Keighley begins on June 10th. So it's a couple days before E3.
Let's
So on the
go.
10th, they have, which sadly, yeah, sadly I will be in Italy, so I don't even know what time zone I'm looking
Italy.
at. Yeah, it's a work
This
thing.
guy.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. It's a work thing. I don't want to talk about it. So I just have to. So they're doing that June 10th, June 11th, and June 12th. Um, yeah, are they like combining this with the E3? I mean, obviously not really, I guess, but like they have so like Ubisoft Forward is listed under the Summer Games Fest banner. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
so that's on June 12th at noon your time. Your Pacific time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, noon your time. Um, so that's that. Devolver Digital June 12th as well. June 13th is the Xbox and Bethesda game showcase, which I am pretty excited about.
Yeah, I hope we see more for Halo
Yeah.
and know when it's coming and then same thing for Starfield. That's what I kind of am expecting to see from them.
Yeah, I think Starfield will hopefully be
Yeah.
the big thing.
Yeah.
Um it's been announced for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So and by the way, it looks like Summer Games Fest is like running for a bit because they're throwing in EA Play the summer showcase under the Summer Games Fest banner,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not until late July. So they're spreading
Hmm.
this out quite a bit. It
Oh,
looks
okay,
like.
interesting.
So then what is E3 gonna be? I guess maybe I mean Nintendo is still a partner, Xbox, Microsoft is still a partner. Looks like Ubisoft, Square Enix are still in on it. So I mean, and then a bunch of smaller developers, obviously. So I mean, who knows really what they don't really have. yeah, they don't have like an agenda on the website anyway. So
Yeah. The podcasts I listen to have all been like ripping E3 a new one for like not having set times and stuff
yeah,
already like figured out for this show, whereas like
yeah.
usually like weeks/months in advance they already have that figured out so that the press like sites can be ready for all the conferences and stuff. But like this year it's like a kind of a clusterfuck, and I'm like, oh boy.
Well, here's something. Here's something. So, as of June 3rd, so a couple days ago, a
Hmm.
site called E3 Expo, which is apparently unofficial.
Oh,
I don't know. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just. No, okay, it is official. It just, they worded the article weird. It sounds like a leak. Let me just read you the headline.
yeah,
E3 2021 schedule details revealed as fan registration opens. Doesn't that sound like a headline? Like, oh, the shit
yeah,
leaked because like fan registration is up and like,
right,
or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway,
yeah,
apparently they're throwing in, so the Ubisoft is under both. So Ubisoft is part of Summer
okay,
Games Fest and E3. So is Xbox.
oh,
Um but Nintendo, it looks like Nintendo's Direct is just an E3 thing, and that's on Tuesday the 15th at 8 a.m. your time. Uh,
oh, I'll wake up and watch that one.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, God, again, who fucking knows what the time zone will be like for me? So God, but yeah, I really want to see what these companies have up their sleeves. I'm the most excited for the Xbox One. I'm always interested in Nintendo's more so this year because of the new hardware possibility. And then I'll always watch the Ubisoft one, even if most of their games are not for me. Although Far Cry 6, they did do that Far Cry 6 deep dive gameplay stuff, and I didn't watch it, but I saw people saying it looks kind of lit. So I don't know,
Yeah, yeah, I've heard the
but
same. Fucking who knows? Maybe we'll see Sam Fisher at Ubisoft.
maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not,
Might get lucky.
I'm a Splinter Cell fan, so
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
No,
I
yeah,
would
me
like
too.
that. I didn't
I'm
love
a-
Blacklist was okay. I didn't hate it either, but Chaos Theory when I was a kid was like maybe one of my, it was like in my top 10 games. Like Chaos Theory was a fucking incredible game. Anyway. But yeah, so I think we'll probably reconvene after E3 time um
that sounds good.
and talk about that stuff. I would really like to go through those announcements and
Oh yeah,
talk about what we're excited about, and hopefully it's a good one. I know we'll probably be feeling the delays, thanks like the working from home COVID game studio delays.
yeah.
Deathloop I know got delayed again.
Oh, what? Really?
This was like maybe 3 weeks ago or a month ago, but yeah, I mean, they remember it was originally supposed to be out like end of June, and that didn't happen, or that won't happen. So I think they pushed it to like October. But
Oh no, I actually didn't even know it got pushed again. That's crazy.
yeah. So that was, they kind of snuck that one in there. But September 14th now. So
Mm.
but so I guess that means it'll be at E3.
Yeah,
We'll get to see more Deathloop. Yeah, I we'll talk. We'll talk after
yeah.
E3. We'll see what the new shit is. I'm excited. I think, I don't know about you. I like video games. Video
Oh
games are
yeah,
pretty good. So, yeah. Anyway,
yeah. No, I'm ready for it.
thanks everyone for joining us. Apologies for the technical difficulty there. I'm curious how I'm gonna segue that one in the edit, but we'll see.
Dude,
Um,
your edit that one time Sean had a company, fucking flawless. After that, you can do anything.
really, you think so? Man, I listened back to that and cringe because I feel like it could have done better.
Wait,
But
what? Really? No, I
yeah,
remember listening to it. And I was just like, I think it's coming up, right? And then it
yeah,
just sort of like
yeah.
transitions. And so I'd have to go listen to it again. But I remember being like, you know what? That was actually, pretty smooth. Let's go.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess if you didn't know it was there, maybe, or exactly where it was, I think I just spent so long on it that it's burned into my memory as, ooh, yeah, that was
Oh,
the edit.
yeah,
You know what I
true.
mean? But
Right, yeah, yeah. No, for me it was just like I wonder when like what he might leave in or what
yeah,
what if I'll be able to notice. And then I think I noticed the edit itself, but like I couldn't tell just listening, why something. I guess I don't know how to
yeah,
explain. Like it just seemed like an edit for like no reason, I guess. But that is definitely better than what would have been left behind. So
yeah. That was a that was a bit of a mess, but anyway,
uh,
yes. Thank you, Crossley, as always, for being here.
yeah, thanks for having
Thanks,
me.
thanks anyone for listening. This was a weird episode, I think, because we were like, what games have we been playing? I don't know, like three.
Yeah,
But
I didn't think about it until I woke up this morning. I was like, damn, I've like only been playing Returnal. Holy
yeah,
shit, I fucked
well,
up.
we'll have a lot more of a structured talk next time. I feel like after E3 and after everything's ready.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
cool. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later.